The world is never going to be the same again.
I'm worried about the world.
The world is never going to be the same again.
I'm worried about the world.
The mass chaos and crises that there was in the world, it's going to be just like that now.
This is not an accident.
How long is it going to last? Longer than, even for those of you that have some cash in the bank, way past your cash reserves.
Out of 100 people, 4 will get the message.
This thing isn't going to be over in a few weeks. This thing isn't going to be over in a few months.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, we're currently watching the crypto market tank. We all know why it's tanking. It's tanking off the news that Russia has officially invaded Ukraine. Right now, what we're witnessing on the screen is yet another bloodbath. What I'll say to all of you is that this is an aggressive buying opportunity because a couple of things are at play here. First of all, remember just a couple weeks ago, I was warning everyone that you should probably have some cash on the side. Second, I have been warning of a 70+% correction for the past 4 months. But I will say this, I warned of that correction after altcoin season has been completed. Currently, we've witnessed that happen before an altcoin season could take place. And something all of you are probably wondering, is altcoin season not going to happen? That's the question on everyone's mind. And that's what we all really want to know. The world is looking bad. The world is looking ugly. I asked everyone on Twitter, where are we in the market? 58% of you stated Putin will nuke markets. That's currently happening now, and especially in the stock market in the United States. It's going to happen even worse. I told everyone on my channel for the past couple years, the way this new system, XRP, and the new quantum financial system with numerous other cryptos that will be involved in it, including the Stellars, Quants, XDCs, and HBARs of the world will take place, is in a problem, reaction, solution scenario. We've witnessed the problems with our financial and technological infrastructure, and we are transitioning now over into the reaction phase of this adoption. We're going to get a massive public reaction from everything going on right now. And eventually, in the next few months, it'll bring on the brand new solution. Let's wait and see how quickly this gets rolled out. But as far as the immediate future is concerned, we have to take a look at this graph very quickly. We currently see that this long-term trend line has been penetrated. However, if we can recover very quickly, this has not been invalidated yet. But guys, I'll tell you what, it could be within the next couple days that we find out our confirmed answer as far as this trend line and whether or not we'll see Bitcoin recover is concerned. If this altcoin season were going to happen, it would be starting soon, with prices exploding in value from here up until here at some point in March. Bitcoin needs to recover quick. But what I'll say is this, there is extreme fear throughout all markets, and considering the news that broke, crypto is actually holding on very well. Believe it or not, it is holding on pretty well. Will the bloodbath continue for a couple more days though? If it does continue to go lower, we'll have to wait a little longer for alts to explode. But if institutions And if whales view these entry points as buying opportunities, then oh man, we could be in for an explosive run. Some of you may be wondering, Bull, how can you say that? The world is going into World War III. The reason I can say that is because for the past 2 years, markets have been exploding in value due to irrational behavior for a while. We have to hold through this regardless. But the next couple days is going to tell a lot over the future of our assets in the immediate short term. 2022, regardless of what happens, in February, March, and April, will be an explosive year for cryptos. I can guarantee that. But currently, right now is a question whether or not we're going to get it now or a couple months later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's transition into what's going on in the world right now. We understand the power moves being made by Russia in Ukraine at the moment. But remember this from XRP Crypto Wolf. Russia, right before it decided to execute on its current moves, decided to recognize crypto as a form of currency. Why? Why in the hell, right before a massive invasion, would they even bother acknowledging crypto unless it was strategically important for the future of their nation? In addition, guys, we need to remember that not just the US, but Boris Johnson is going to announce a barrage of UK sanctions against Russia. And Joe Biden has already executed on implementing sanctions against Russia at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the US and the current SWIFT system, with the US dollar being the world's reserve currency, is at the forefront of these new tensions. SWIFT as a payment system is at the forefront, and XRP is looking to replace SWIFT. This is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And before I go deeper into my analysis on what's truly going on, please take a listen of those actions being implemented now.
Needless to say, Russia's move is a grave breach of international law and a new act of aggression against Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. And in this context, we welcome today's announcement of sanctions by President Biden. The world must respond with all its economic might to punish Russia for the crimes it has already committed and ahead of the crimes it plans to commit. Hit Russia's economy now and hit it hard.
So today, I'm announcing the first tranche of sanctions to impose costs on Russia in response to their actions yesterday. These have been closely coordinated with our allies and partners and will continue to escalate sanctions if Russia escalates. We're implementing full blocking sanctions on 2 large Russian financial institutions, VEB and their military bank. We're implementing comprehensive sanctions on Russian sovereign debt. That means we've cut off Russia's government from Western financing. It can no longer raise money from the West and cannot trade in its new debt on our markets or European markets either.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a direct result of what's going on, they're advertising that markets should brace for heavy falls, and they've begun doing so. As a result of all of this, we're going to see massive changes. The UK warns of cyber attacks. The narrative I've been building for the past 3 years is finally coming to play, as Russia-Ukraine will be the excuse, the reason for everything the central bankers are behind. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing I need to tell all of you is that nothing happening in the world right now is an accident. Nothing is coincidence. Nothing hasn't been prepared for. I'll show you why in just a second, how they orchestrate all of this. But first, remember that we've been warned about these cyber attacks before the threat even came about. The reason is because these cyber attacks are the biggest threat. These cyber attacks will be the massive reaction to bring on the New World Order and the Great Reset. Please listen to Klaus Schwab's agenda.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
As we can see, guys, July 2020 is the beginning of the narrative of the cyber pandemic. Now, we're at the forefront of the reality of the cyber pandemic being upon us. Energy grids, exchanges, internet blackouts, anything is possible. And the reason all of this is happening is because from the beginning, in 1913, since the Federal Reserve has been implemented in the United States, there's been nothing but mayhem, nothing but crisis. The reason there's been nothing but crisis ever since the Federal Reserve has been implemented is because the central banks fund both sides of all crisis, of all war. Before 1913, there was not all these economic bubbles. This is directly tied to the Federal Reserve banking system. They are the reason. But the thing is, the citizens, the public, they're ignorant to it. They don't know. The reason is because they also own both sides of the news to direct attention away from themselves. So guys, what am I going on about here? What I'm going on about here is that we are at the peak of one of the biggest bubbles, man-made bubbles in human history. We are at the end of this health crisis. And now, because they printed all of this money, and because the 1% and the wealthy have made all their money already, they now have to crash it, and they have to blame it on what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, because oh no, the 1% and the Federal Reserve cannot take the blame. The Federal Reserve officials, they must be banned from trading stocks, bonds, and cryptos, because of course, as we approach the peak of this market, they must sell at the top to protect investors. Now, at the same time as the Fed officials are being banned from trading stocks, it's time to ban Congress as well from trading stocks, and this is being pushed on the mainstream. This is so that they can use retail investors and your 401k as exit liquidity, my friends. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. All these events, the elites know about it in advance. They're all in on it, my friends. This issue right now, it is to bring on the new world and this new financial system. You see what they did? They weakened the dollar through inflation and its reserve currency status. It's wavering. Right at the same time, the London Stock Exchange is acquiring Tora for $325 million. And this is a multi-asset trading technology supplier, which opens a bridge into the world of digital asset trading for the London Stock Exchange. In the same breath, Securitize, both SBI and Ripple partners, just bought Pacific Stock Transfer, a traditional transfer agent, making them among the top 10 agents in the world by investor accounts with 1.2 million. This is the foundation of serious tokenization. So while we see this mayhem, all of this blowing up in our face, while the retail investors and the masses, the 99%, are distracted and afraid, reacting to the news, we are proactively watching the news for the classes and are always one step ahead. We are proactively knowledgeable about the acceleration of a brand new financial system, about the acceleration of payments and liquidity worldwide. There's going to be a liquidity crisis soon, my friends. And right on time, this SEC lawsuit seems to be coming to a conclusion. I don't think that's an accident either. I think this is part of the synchronistic rollout of this new financial system. They've done enough to dissuade retail investors from being in this space with XRP. And there's going to be a moment, a magical moment, where they finally flip that switch, and the whole world will realize just how big a part of the plan XRP has been. But it's not going to come without adversity, and it's not going to come without the potential of us getting robbed, my friends. Remember this piece of news that I reported on a couple days ago from XRP Crypto Wolf. The FBI has created a new group focused on asset seizure. Now, to be fair, guys, there's been a lot of criminals using the crypto space to try and steal from people for a lot of illegal activities. But at the same time, with the vulnerability of exchanges, with me showing you all the news about the Kraken CEO talking about the potential of them stopping trading and limiting funds for retail investors, anything is possible. The government can and will steal money from you. And Jeremy Hogan reminds us, did you know that the US has civil forfeiture laws by which the government can seize your property simply by alleging you're engaged in illegal activity, and they never actually need to charge you with a crime? He hashtags cold wallets, and I 100% agree. If by now you've been watching my channel and don't have your Ledger Nanos or your Decent wallets or your cryptos offline, I do not know what to tell you. Because one thing is certain, cyber attacks are upon us. This financial reset is here. This financial crisis has arrived. And crypto will be your escape. This will bring you into the new 1%. I always state you must look at what the smart money's doing. And top government officials have left their jobs for crypto. Jay Clayton went to Fireblocks. Brian Brooks went from the OCC to join Bitfury as their CEO. Mark Wengen, former CFTC commissioner, joined FTX US as head of policy. All of these politicians went from the public sector to the crypto space. Former SEC counsel joined Coinbase. Arthur Levitt joined BitPay. Will Hinman, we know what he did. Brian Quintes joined the same place. Brett Redfern, are you getting the message? Coinbase. And CFTC former chairman joined CoinFund. All of these individuals are smarter than you and me. They went directly from the government to the crypto space. And it's because they're following all the damn money. Regardless of whether or not this altcoin season is upon us right now in February into March, or we have to wait after markets tank, it doesn't matter. We are in the right place at the right time. We hold the right digital assets, and that's something that you need to be reassured about. We have always been 10 steps ahead. As for me, I'm going to continue stockpiling cash just in case these markets go lower. This is where we have to be greedy with cash positions, just in case we continue to tank. And if we do, good Lord Almighty, we'll have immaculate entry points. And if it doesn't tank lower, then good Lord Almighty, we're going to have a beautiful opportunity to cash out in this explosive altcoin season. This is the most uncertain markets have ever been, in my opinion. And that breeds opportunity for all of us. We're currently ready for both scenarios, and the time is fast approaching on when we have to execute. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. I will be hosting an OnlyFans Q&A tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for my OnlyFans community. And please prepare for that one, guys. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
You want to know how to be a successful investor? The answer is stay with what you know. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to TV people, internet people. Just stay with what you know. If I told you you can only have 20 investments in your life, you would be very careful. You wouldn't be jumping in and out, listening to hot tips every day, every month. You would stay with what you know, and you would become a successful investor. Everybody watching this knows a lot about something, whether it's fashion or cars or sports or something. When you see something that you know is going to be successful and exciting, don't just say, oh, that's going to be great. Don't tell all you. Then you go and you do your research and you figure out how to and if you should invest and how to invest, and then you invest. You will know it long before I will, or long before other people in the investment community. You will also know when to sell, because you will know when something's going to change again. Nobody likes to hear it. Everybody wants a hot tip. Everybody wants to be rich this month. In those days, we did nothing but focus and concentrate and dig deep and dig deep and dig deep.